Lush 50.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the latest interview. I'll start by letting our guest introduce himself.
Hey all, what's up? I'm Lush50. I am from Australia and have a massive passion for Mario games. Today you can learn a little bit more about myself through this nifty interview. Brian Plays Games Bad has reached out and we're here to deliver and answer a few questions.
So, I'm just going to dive right in, Lush. How early were video games a part of your life? Any favorite titles from then?
Well, my grandfather owned an arcade before I was even a thought, so I was born into this very rare experience for a child to have in the 90s, having all the pinballs, shoot 'em ups, fighting, racing games, all at my fingertips was this really crazy blessing. And I had this like complete obsession with playing the game Galaga. Like that was definitely one of the like first memories. Definitely just like hours on end shooting all the space creatures. It was a very fun and warm kind of memory. In relation to Mario specifically, though, the most vivid was when my parents got me a Super Nintendo when I was about 5 or 6. I remember walking into my room and seeing this giant yellow Mario All-Stars console box, and little did I know that it would change my life forever.
So, how did you discover streaming, and how did you really come to the decision to start doing it yourself?
Well, I'd been watching all different types of Mario content on the internet, and it kind of made me figure, hey, people are obviously playing Mario live kind of thing, and I just sort of went adventuring and got involved and sort of just went from there. Like, I had some friends playing some Mario Maker 2 and starting on ROM hacks, like that very early days kind of thing, and I guess that's where it all interested me, and then I decided to jump in as well.
So, did you start off streaming Kaizo, or were you streaming something else?
Mario Maker 2 was the first thing I streamed. I lasted about a month doing that. If you know, you know. Like, it's Mario Maker. You're bound to get some stuff that might irritate you a little bit. From there on, though, it was Kaizo creating, play a little bit of Mario 64, Paper Mario, and standard hacks as well. Like, I really got into standard hacks. I love that stuff.
So, how did you discover Kaizo?
Discovering Kaizo for me was pretty interesting. A friend randomly brought up ROM hacks whilst playing Mario Maker levels, said it might be a little bit of fun, and that's basically the lighter to the gas. Unfortunately, I don't have a movie-like story. It's sort of like a calling or something, you know? Like, it sort of just happened. Like, it was a very simple, hey, let's go. Let's go try it out. And that was how it started.
So, can you talk about a few of your favorite memories associated with the Kaizo scene?
Well, off the top of my head, a few favorite memories is probably having like your work played for the first time or something. Like that's always a cool kind of vibe. It's
I
like
bet.
everybody's watching this random creation that you've just put together and you're just delivering it out to the world, and you see all these different opinions. Like people might like it, they might hate it, you know, it's definitely a weird kind of memory, but it's like it's also a favorite because it's like you're doing your art, you're throwing it out there, and you're just seeing how it goes. Another one of my favorite memories is definitely a personal one when the first Nightmare Cafe really popped and took off. Like I knew I had this little idea brewing inside, and I wanted it to explode, and to get that felt pretty cool. Like that was definitely one of the more validating, like to myself. Like it felt like I had succeeded with this little idea that I wanted, and that was pretty cool. That felt cool to me.
So, what do you like best about the Kaizo community?
Well, the things I like best would probably be like the creativeness, care, and like the love that people put into it. Like it really sort of feels like there's pure enthusiasm. Like, sure, there are bad sides to any community in life, like there definitely is, but it's the, you know, very strong good side, uh, you know, that I love. It's like, that's the thing I like best. Good people doing good things, having fun. Oh, and there's Mario.
And there's Mario. Everyone has people who influence them in a positive way. What about your role models?
In regards to role models, I've had like a few spiritual role models over the years, and they've like their motto is always to bring love and joy like into the world. So I guess that's something I like to replicate or mimic in my own way. You know, like I like to make people laugh. I like to be silly and stupid and just bring them down to my side of the fence for a little bit. You know, it's like catching up with an old friend. Like that's basically what it is. It's time to laugh. It's time to have fun.
What advice would you give someone who wanted to start Kaizo or streaming?
Advice. Don't give up when you get totally railed on the first go. Like, when you're first entering, don't get discouraged by getting absolutely slammed against the wall. Like, start slow, build a variety of skills, and kind of go from there. Like, no need to beat the hardest shit right away. Like, take your time, enjoy the ride. Like, there's a lot of, sights to see. And it's, I guess, like, you could find easier stuff. Like, go and find some beginner things, like, when you're starting up. Or even, like, make your own, like, easy things in Luna if you know what to do in there. Because, I mean, that program is pretty daunting. Like, I guess it could be taunting as well. It probably is. But, yeah, it's very daunting when you start off, like, at the very start. So, basically what I'm saying is take small steps.
Most Kaizo players I've spoken with have played some or all of the Nightmare Cafe and new Nightmare Cafe games. At this point, they seem to be a Kaizo rite of passage. Do you agree with that statement?
I wouldn't say they were a rite of passage, like, just in my opinion. Like, yes, they sort of took off and were a bit popular, but, like, I believe I'm just on my heel doing my thing. Like, there's tons of hacks that I believe blow my hacks out of the water that I would rather people go and play. Like, absolutely.
So what inspired you to do one-room puzzles?
What inspired me to do one-room puzzles? Well, I played a hack called Mad with Kaizo Power by New Pointless. I remember playing it, beating it, and like the whole time I was playing, I was just like filled with this really odd energy, but it felt, I don't know, it felt really, really good. And I was like, well, maybe I can do my own spin on this kind of concept, because like it was tough. Like that hack was tough for me at the time. And I felt, well, maybe I can make an easy, silly version and just like spin up some stuff and make some people laugh. Like that's basically all it was. That's what inspired me to do it. And then it just kicked off from there.
So having made so many of them though, how do you keep things fresh?
Keeping fresh is definitely really difficult. I have had a bit of trouble with it. Like sometimes I haven't been able to deliver the stuff that I've wanted to, and I've ended up being repetitious, like in some cases. And in other cases, I've been able to be super creative. But I guess it comes with the very high workload that I've put myself in. I guess I've kind of created my own problem, so I just try to do what comes to mind that feels fun, and sometimes I repeat. But other times I've come up with some pretty cool shit, I think. So it's the best of both worlds. How to keep fresh? I'm not quite sure. You just gotta ride the waves and see what happens.
Well, I'm a fan of pretty much everything you do. Do you shoot for a specific difficulty for each hack, or do you kind of determine that at the end?
I mostly like to make easy stuff because my hands are pretty messed up. So, like, I guess I got to work with them a little bit. So I make easy stuff so I can keep consistent with myself too. I also like the stuff to be easy so people can breeze through it and enjoy the time and just go in and get out kind of thing. It's like a quick little get together, and then it's on to the next thing for them, like on to the next adventure,
I like that. So while you're most known for the Nightmare Cafe series, you've also produced some level-based hacks. Is your approach pretty similar between them?
Yeah, definitely the same strat. Most stuff's just easy. I do, however, have a handful of harder stuff, but I just try to deliver a fresh, fast-paced experience that leaves the player happy and fulfilled.
So, what was your favorite hack to make?
I have two favorites: sweet and sour and the first Nightmare Cafe. Sweet and sour was a favorite, definitely, because I got to build this awesome friendship with B Salt. Even though he isn't around Twitch much anymore, like, we had this really cool 9 months of creating and learning and growing together. And that was something that, like, I hold dear to me. Nightmare Cafe was the second favorite, just because I felt like I had a good hack concept cooking inside my brain, and I felt like I need to bring this out. I need to go and do it, and I need to see what's up. And it was just that drive that really inspired me to just, like, push the button, you know? And I guess that's what made it one of my favorites. Like, I had that inspiration and drive, and we ended up delivering.
What was your favorite hack of all time?
Favorite hack of all time. This one's a hard one. But if I mean, I really don't have one off the top of my head. One that I really, really do like would be Luminescent. That one is just freaking awesome. The Boogeyman did insanely well with that hack.
So, when you aren't making the next game, what do you do for fun?
When I'm not making games, I'm either exercising, spending time in my garden, or running my online store. You got to chase that cash, man. Got to chase it.
What's the one thing that you want people to know about you?
What's one thing you want people to know about you? That I recorded this start to finish at 2 a.m. and my brain is completely fried to the bone. Completely.
All right, how about some quick fire questions? Texting or talking on the phone?
Text.
Invisibility or super strength?
Invisibility. Favorite
holiday?
My life is a giant holiday.
Favorite junk food?
The local news.
What makes you happy?
Love.
Successful people, born or made?
Both.
Thanks for coming today. I really appreciate the opportunity to get to know you better.
Thanks for having me. No worries. It's been fun answering these questions.
In closing, is there anything that you'd like to say to the group?
I'd like to send my best thoughts out to anyone listening. Strive to do something awesome today. Do your thing and do it to your best ability. Thanks for listening and have a good one.